Good morning, everybody. Matt Modi here to give you my favorite NBA player prop picks. Today, we're talking Monday, March 10th. The Splash Zone is back in your life. I'm going to have 4 NBA player prop picks to lock in for tonight's NBA betting slate. All 4 are plus money bangers because that is how we do things here. Unfortunately, before we can get into today's picks, we do have to do a recap from yesterday. And I say unfortunately because yesterday sucked. There's really no way around it. We did not win a single bet yesterday. I had 5. They all lost. Some of them were bad reads that didn't even come close, like Isaiah Hartenstein assists, just didn't have a chance. Some of them came close, kind of teased us at the end. Bryce Sensabaugh had 14 points on an over-under of 14.5. Bogdanovich had 9 points on an over-under of 11.5, so that one's really not that close, but one made 3, that cashes, but he didn't. And then the Filipowski double-double really hurt because he had 6 rebounds at halftime, and then he didn't get a next rebound until the game was basically over in the fourth quarter, so either way, they all lost. Again, some bad luck, some bad reads. 0 for 5 is all that matters. Now, it was a really good week overall. It's just kind of frustrating. That's the way we ended the week, down 5 units yesterday. We're still up 30 units on the year. We're still up over 5% ROI on the year as well. Now, like that ROI isn't the best you've ever seen. Like there are plenty of people with a better ROI this season, but considering how the season has gone and what it felt like it's just been a total slog, 30 units and 5% ROI is totally good with me. So hopefully we'll bounce back today. Right now I have 4 official bangers to lock in, as I mentioned, all 4 of which are plus money bangers. Before we can get into that, just make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe, and let's start talking bangers. I have Props Madness up on the screen here, my favorite NBA betting tool. And I have there's like a massive slate of games. It's a huge slate. There's a lot of leans that I have as well. Just a lot of plays that I couldn't quite get there, and I don't want to force it just for the sake of having volume in a big slate. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go with 4 that I'm really confident in. And then as injury news shakes out over the course of the day, maybe I'll add more. So be on the lookout for that. I send everything out to Tails. And then if it doesn't go out on YouTube, it'll go out for free on Twitter. And Tails, if you're not familiar, and I know I'm rambling here, but it's just a place for where I send out all my plays. So if you want to get everything early before I send it out to YouTube or Twitter, Tails is the way to go. You can get it sent directly via the app, or you can get it sent via Discord as well. So if you're interested, check that out, $10 a month. Now we're talking bangers. The first play that I locked in here is Orlando Robinson. I actually took him on the rebound. So you can get over 7.5. If you use BetOnline, you can get it at plus 120. If not, you can still get it for plus 100 at FanDuel. This is a play that everybody is going to hate. He's played 29 games this year. He's only gotten 8 or more rebounds in 2 of those 29 games. So yeah, I'm not going to pretend that this is a hit rate thing or anything like that. Sometimes hit rate is valuable. In this situation, it's not. The reason why, we got some guys out of the lineup. Most importantly, we have no Jakob Poeltl, but before I limit it to games without Jakob Poeltl, I just kind of want to show you. This graph here shows, this blue line shows his minutes, right? We'd see it's steadily starting to increase over, and then like it dropped here, but then it's starting to increase again. This has to do with Jakob Poeltl being in and out of lineup, and Grady Dick has been out as well. Agbaji has been out. So all these guys have been out, and Orlando Robinson has been playing more, and he's been playing well. Like in his last 10 games, yeah, only 1 of 10. That's gross. But 3 separate times he landed on 7. 7 of 14, 7 of 21, 7, and they don't have rebound chances listed for that game yet. And then another time, 7 of 17. It's like he's getting pretty good rebound chances. He's just not quite collecting all of those rebound chances. And the game that I really want to highlight here is this game here against Utah. Jakob Poeltl did not play in this game. He had 7 rebounds on 21 rebound chances. 21 rebound chances is absolutely insane. Now, he clearly has shown that he's not collecting a ton of his rebound chances, like 50% here, less than 50% here, and then we don't have any for this game. So I'm not going to say that he's like someone who is going to get 60, 65% of his rebound chances, but if you're telling me he's going to get at least 21, I'll gladly take for him to get 8 rebounds. No Jakob Poeltl, and Jakob Poeltl actually played in this game. He still played 24 minutes, and he still had 7 boards. So this is the same matchup against the Wizards team, who, by the way, are an excellent matchup for center rebound props, which is another reason why we are on this play. They allow the most rebounds overall. They allow the 3rd most rebounds specifically to centers. So I think we have something here with Orlando Robinson. I think we're getting a value. Like the books are pricing it at a number he's hit in one game. This one game in his last 10, 2 games on the entire season. So it's definitely not for the faint of heart. I haven't done this in a while, but we're going to go ahead and call this our Pepto play of the day because it's definitely not going to feel great hitting submit on this bet. But This was actually in the plus 130s last night. So the line has been moving down. But I still would take it here at the plus 100 number, to be clear. So this is our first official banger. Orlando Robinson, 8+ rebounds. Next up, I don't have a play in any of these two games yet. I do have a play on this Heat versus Hornets. And I went with my guy, Mark Williams. I went with him on the rebounds. So you can actually get plus 115 odds at DraftKings. Right now, technically, this is being listed at 9.5. But you can get it at plus 115 at DraftKings. So go ahead and check that out. If the plus 115 is gone, you can get plus 110 at both ESPN Bet and Hard Rock as well. I'm limited in all three of those places, so the bet I actually locked in is plus 108, but most people can get a better price than me. So Mark Williams, like he's hit it 11 of his last 24, isn't great, but we see there's like a stretch where he only hit it in 1 of 7 games, so you take that game out. 10 of 17 looks a lot better, averaging 11.5 per game, so above what we need him to get. Couple of reasons why I like this play for Mark Williams. Number one, this is a value. For those of you that remember last week, we bet Mark Williams twice to get 12+ rebounds at about the same number. Like we're getting 1 rebound shorter, and the matchup isn't anything really to be scared of. Like the matchup against the Heat, their average in terms of rebounds allowed to the center position, in terms of rebounds allowed overall, they allow the 8th most, so that looks pretty good. But if you look at guys similar to Mark Williams, 9 of 15 have hit their over against the Heat. So these guys like Mark Williams, not every single center has a good matchup against the Heat, but guys like Mark Williams do have a good matchup. We see like Walker Kessler, 15, 16 rebounds. Zubac, 20, 8, and 15. Jared Allen had 10. Clint Capella, who doesn't really play anymore, had 11. These guys are smoking their rebound prop over against the Heat. And the thing with Mark Williams, like if you look at his entire season, he barely played as he was coming back from injury at the beginning of the year. So you see that minutes graph is slowly creeping up, and then it's been pretty steady recently, taking out one of these games he barely played because they lost by 53. He only played 21 minutes, which is gross. But if you just look at his last 10 games, he's averaging 28 minutes per game. And again, that is with the game only playing 21. 24 last game is also pretty gross, but still had 8 rebounds on 15 rebound chances. And if you look at Mark Williams, like his floor, unless they get absolutely annihilated, is probably this 24, 25 minute number. So what you can do on Props Madness is just filter it basically any way you want. So let's just leave him at 24 minutes, which is his absolute floor, unless they're down by 50. And let's go filter it against teams in the bottom 10 in terms of rebounds allowed in general. And he's hit the over in 7 of 9 games, playing at least 24 minutes, teams in the bottom 10. Even if you want to go to the bottom half, so like 16 to 30 in terms of rebounds allowed, it's 9 of 12, 75% of the time. So Mark Williams is the type of guy you want to target in these juicy matchups, which is what he has tonight against the Miami Heat. So I'll gladly take for him to get 11 boards, 4+ money. Again, plus 115 is the best offered price at DraftKings. I just checked before I started recording. And if that is gone while you're watching, plus 110 at ESPN Bet and Hard Rock is still available. That's bet number 2. Next up, I have a play in the Suns versus Grizzlies. And I went with Devin Booker, and I went with him on the assist. So this is a play. You can actually get this at plus 100 at Fanatics. So they don't list Fanatics on the screen here, but you can get them at plus 100. This line also moved a ton since last night. It was plus 120, but I would still take it at plus 100. So no issues there. I mean, you look at across the board, you see minus 105 at ESPN Bet, and then everywhere else, minus 117, minus 120. And then this minus 150 at 6.5, I'm not touching. Booker's kind of similar to Mark Williams, where like his last 24 games isn't amazing, but what's this, like missed it in 5 straight. You take that game out. 12 of 19 looks really good. I love this as a fade of recent results because he cashed this in like 7 straight games. Since then, he's only hit it in 1 of his last 4 games. And a lot of times he's had horrible conversion rates on his potential assists, right? We see 5 of 11, but this one cashed, 8 of 17, good to go. 7 of 18, bad. And then 6 of 11 is above 50%, but that's not great. He also scored 1 million points in that game. I mean, he's always... Actually, no, I'm thinking of this game where he scored 1 million points. This was the game yesterday, actually, against the Mavericks. But he played... yeah, they beat the Mavericks in this one. This is all about the matchup against the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are absolutely a assist team. You look at the head-to-head matchup. He's cashed it in all 3. Now, one of them, he only had 10 rebound chances. Like, we are hoping for way more than 10 rebound chances. 10 potential assists. We're not going to get cashing 9 of 10. But outside of that, 9 of 19, that's the outlier in the opposite way. He'll probably get more than 9 assists on 19 potential assists. 10 of 17, that's kind of what we're looking at. 17 potential assists, you should expect 10 to 11 actual assists. So he's been awesome against the Grizzlies. He's done it with guys in and out of lineup. Like one game Beal missed, one game Beal played. This game, all three of them played. So like it doesn't matter. Or I guess two he played and one he missed. Either way, he cashed it. And the one that he missed is when he had 19 potential assists, but then he had 17 without him. You look at the matchup here, per Props Madness, 8 of 14 players with his assist profile have hit the over against the Grizzlies. Now, 3 of those are Devin Booker himself. If you look at the other guys, like Dame hit it, SGA hit it twice, Fox cashed it, and in the beginning of the year, guys didn't hit it as much, but so that actually is 8 of the last 11, because 3 straight have missed. The assist chart here, the majority of Booker's assists come from the above the break 3. They allow the third most, and they allow them all via catch and shoot. So that's great for Devin Booker, because obviously the catch and shoot is what's going to be an assisted play. So Devin Booker assists, again, a great fade of recent results, only hitting it in one of his last 4 in a really good matchup. I really like this play. Again, you can get a better price, plus 100 at Fanatics, so make sure to check that out. And if that's no longer available, it looks like actually you can now get plus 115 at BetMGM, so even better. You can get plus 115 now, so go ahead and lock that in before it changes. If not, plus 100 is good as well. That's our third play. And then our fourth and final pick of the video, and I'm going to tell you some of my leans as well, plays that I was looking at but couldn't quite get there. In this Magic versus Rockets game, I have Franz Wagner, 25 plus points. So this one you can get, I've got it at plus 110. I think it actually moved to plus 112, so you can get a little bit of a better price than what I got. Either way, I'm not taking the over 23.5. I'm taking the 25 plus for plus money. Another situation where I love this as a fade of recent results. He's missed this in 2 straight games. 8 of 17 is not great. 1 of 4 is bad. 6 of 17, 0 of 3 is bad. And then he cashed it in 3 straight prior to that. Then missed it in 2 straight. Then cashed it in 2. You know what I mean? It's like kind of hit or miss. But he's missed it in 2 straight games, which I absolutely love as a fade of recent results. You look at the entire season, he scored 25 points in 24 of 45 games. Now, Banchero missed a lot of these games, and he got hurt in some of these games as well. But you just look at games specifically with Banchero and without Jalen Suggs and his brother, Mo Wagner, it's 10 of 19 games, so over a 50% hit rate, averaging just under 25 points per game. And then you look at the matchup, you wouldn't think it's a good matchup against the Rockets, and this would tell you that it's not. But what I like, guys that score the majority of their points via the pick and roll ball handler have success against the Rockets. That's why I like this play. 21% of his points come from the from the pick and roll ball handler. They're the second worst defense guarding that in the NBA. The Rockets defense, like where they're really, really stout, is spot up shooters, stuff off screen. They stick to shooters really, really well, which is why you see them either a good matchup or average in basically every other category. Now, pick and roll ball handler and isolation, Franz doesn't ISO a ton. He scores the most points on the team as the main pick and roll ball handler and the second most points on the team via isolation. He does a lot of his stuff in the restricted area or in the paint, and we see this like little push shot area of the floor. They're the 8th worst defense guarding that. That's where the second majority of his points come from in terms of shots on the floor. Points in the paint allowed, they're 18th, so they're not a good matchup. They're not a bad matchup. And then again, they're 29th in terms of his number 1 play type. But Franz, he's been really good, obviously, on the season. Even with Banchero, he's been really good. And we get a situation where he's had 2 bad games in a row, which makes this a great fade of recent results. I love doing these types of situations where you can, as I call it, fade of recent results. A better way to phrase it is probably positive regression. I hate it like saying he's due, because that's not what we're doing here. It's someone that's been shooting a lot still, just hasn't been making his shots, and a good player like Franz, that's going to come around. So I really like this play. That's our 4th and final official bet of the video. Now, some leans that I looked at but didn't end up betting. Yesterday, one of the leans that I mentioned hit, so I wish I had done that. This Jazz-Celtics game, we don't know who the heck's going to play. Jazz, on the second half of a back-to-back, their whole team missed yesterday. Celtics have had guys in and out of the lineup as well, including Porzingis. So we don't really have a ton of odds on these guys. Keontae George is who I want to look at for this game. Now, if both Sexton and Clarkson end up playing, it's not going to look great for Keontae George. If they both end up missing, then it's going to be really, really good for him. And I don't really think it's worth locking in right now. But these guys, these pull-up shooters above the break, pick and roll ball handler, ISO guys, have success against the Celtics. It's very similar to the Rockets, right? Pick and roll ball handler, Isolation, we see the third worst and the second most. But spot up shooters, really good. Off screen, really good. Transition, really good. Pick and roll man, that's a little bit different, but really good. We see 6 of 11 guys with his scoring profile have hit the over against the Celtics. So that's kind of one that I'm looking at. Again, it just depends on who ends up playing. The Sixers-Hawks game, I looked at Trae Young assists, but 12 for not plus money was a little too rich for my blood, which is why I stayed away. I was hoping to get 12 plus with the plus sign. I don't really think it's worth it at the odds at minus 104 or minus 109. Now, Trae's been hit or miss from an assist perspective, but he's been much better recently. Like, his last 16 games, he's hit it 10 times. He did miss it last game, so we do get a fade of recent results after cashing it in 4 straight. You can't look at this 2 of 7 of his similar profile because the Sixers defense is remarkably different now. And if you look at point guards recently, it's 10 of the last 15, and really since the All-Star break, which I guess is all of these. So since the All-Star break, it's 10 of the last 15, and it's 5 of 6. So it is a really good matchup for point guard assist props. I just think that the line isn't quite where it should be, where there's any value, so I ended up staying away from it. And then on the Sixers side, we don't know who's going to play, so that one's not even worth even talking about. The Hornets Heat game I did have an official bet, but another look that I liked was LaMelo on the assist. You can get plus 105, which is a pretty decent price. This is another nice fade of recent results. I mean, kind of. He's been, really good here and then not so good since then. The reason why I stayed away is just his potential assists are not high enough for someone to consistently get 7 assists. I mean, we see 7 on 8 potentials. I mean, this is a tough matchup, the Caps, but still, that's not great. 6 of 10 is a little better, but still, we're hoping for more than 10 potential assists. 7 of 12 is a little more reasonable, but then it's like 3 of 4. This one's good. 9 of 14, like 2 of 9. Granted, they lost that game by 53 points. 6 of 13, so it's a little more recent where it hasn't been as good, but the Heat are a good matchup for point guard assist props. I think he's hit this in both games against the Heat. 7 of 18, 7 of 11, so that one's a little bit more scary. Bridges played in one game, missed the other. So, you could go LaMelo Ball assist. I think that is a good look. I like the Mark Williams look better, which is why I went with that. Lakers Nets, it's Luka or Austin Reeves with LeBron out. We've yet to see Luka play on the Lakers without LeBron, so we don't know what that looks like. Obviously, the books are pricing that in with his points. To me, I like the assists and the rebounds better. Obviously, if you look at Props Madness, the rebounds is the better matchup. 8 of 14 on the boards, only 1 of 5 on the assists, and only 1 of 4 point guards. Or I guess these are kind of point forwards have hit their assist prop against the Nets. They're generally an assist team. Like if you look at where they allow points, spot up, that's an assisted play. And if we go to some, I guess they only have 3 guys listed, but like where they're green, I guess they don't have anything. Yeah, I guess off screen, they're pretty good, and handoff, they're pretty good. So it's just really spot up. So it's Luka, either rebounds, assists, or you just combine it in the RA, which isn't bad. Austin Reeves, you wonder if is his scoring going to go up, because he shot horribly the last 2 games, 2 of 13 and 5 of 12. He hasn't been good. It's a decent matchup for him if you look at similar guys, but I didn't want to go anything in that game. This is a good matchup for Ja Morant points. The line's just too high. He's done well in both games against this team, but we want 25 plus. We don't want over 27.5. That's too high for Ja Morant. I get he's hit it in 2 straight games in 3 of his last 5, but it's a little too rich for my blood. The Pacers-Bulls game, we need to know who's going to play. Vooch is questionable. Halliburton's questionable. There's going to be some value here, but it just depends on who's going to play. Nuggets-Thunder, I hate situations where these 2 teams literally just played. They played yesterday. They literally just played yesterday. The Thunder won. SGA, you could go right back to him. I mean, 51 points, 41 and 40 in his last 3 games is crazy. If you wanted to be a little bit safer, you could go first quarter. You're not getting a bad value here. Like you can get plus 106 over 10.5 for plus money. And then like most books, 11.5 for minus money. So that is a good value. He's hit it in 4 straight, 15 of his last 24, and like games, sometimes he's missed 10. So you could just go right back to SGA first quarter points. That was the lean I gave out yesterday that didn't hit, so I probably should have played it. Jokic on the RA is probably pretty good as well. He missed it yesterday, like 22. His over-under was actually 22.5, so it even moved up more. But you look at his numbers, like 13 on 21, 9 assists on 13 potentials is decent. It could be a little bit better, but it's a generally a good matchup for both of these categories for Jokic. So if you wanted to do that, you could. And then these other 3 games, like Mavericks Spurs, I want no part of. These teams are just so wonky. Same thing with the Blazers Warriors, and then the Knicks with no Brunson is scary. And then the Kings, I think Monk is questionable, if I remember correctly. So I kind of wanted to wait on that one. So it's 4 official bangers for you guys to lock in, which I'll quickly recap, and then we'll get out of here. Franz Wagner, 25 plus points. Mark Williams, 11 plus rebounds. Devin Booker, 8 plus assists. Orlando Robinson, 8 plus rebounds. That's all we got. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you want to support the channel, there are 2 links in the video that I would ask you to check out if you're interested. One of them is a link to Props Madness, which I just showed you how much I love and how I use it. The other one is to my Tails account, which is just where I send out all my plays. Again, if you just want to get stuff early and don't want to worry about having to wait for YouTube or Twitter, Tails is the way to go. Really easy to sign up. If you have any questions, you can obviously hit me up. You can get them sent to you via the app directly, where you get a push notification, or via Discord, whichever you prefer. Well, it's both. And then however you prefer to get it is how you can use it. But that's all we got. So thank you, everybody, for watching. Make sure to bet responsibly and have a good one.